Well, it is official. We are almost at episode 100. I can't freaking believe it either. And so to celebrate, we have been getting back together, catching up with some of our favorite and your favorite guests. And look who I have with me today. It is funny to say this because you're either sometimes number 3 or number 2. You're neck and neck with Faith Saley for most downloaded of all time episodes. Kristen Peralta is back here from Vintage Pet Rescue in Rhode Island?
Yes, we are in Rhode Island. That is very exciting.
It's very exciting. I almost said Delaware. I'm like, no. That's wrong. That's wrong.
The other small state.
That's wrong. How are you?
I am good. This year has been unlike anything I've ever experienced, but we are trucking along. We are getting it done, thankfully.
Tell everybody an update. Like, first of all, start here. What is Vintage Pet Rescue? And tell us how COVID affected you. Go there.
Okay, so Vintage Pet Rescue, we are a retirement home for senior dogs, and we are located in Rhode Island. So we usually take in dogs over the age of 14. If they're a larger breed, we, can do 12 or 13, but we try to take the super seniors. So when people reach out to us with an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old, those guys are considered young for us. So we take in the super seniors or extreme medical cases, dogs that are paralyzed. We just had a puppy that was born with no front legs, that sort of thing. Dogs that are that would really have trouble kind of finding a rescue or finding a home. And yeah, this COVID, how has COVID affected us? I think it's finally catching up to us this year. Unfortunately, we have a lot of dogs coming from people who have passed away, and also a lot of evictions happening and a lot of financial constraints and financial issues. So I think kind of everything that happened over these last 2 years is kind of starting to catch up with people. So we're getting a lot more surrender requests this year than ever before.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. How do you stay... There we go. How do you stay non-judgmental of people who are like, we have to move. I lost my job. This animal that I made a commitment to, I can't commit to anymore, even though it's senior, junior, whatever. Where does your brain go?
It's something we definitely try to do. We try to just not judge. And the bottom line is, in most cases, the dog is better off in a different environment, in a new home. Because if somebody is moving, is being forced to move, is being evicted. We've had a lot of people get evicted and they're homeless. So to say, hey, you made a commitment to this dog and you have to honor that commitment while trying to live in your car or live on the street, I mean, that's horrible, or, the person probably wants to go to a shelter, but shelters don't allow dogs. A lot of lower priced hotels might not allow dogs. So, what are we doing there? We're just making the person feel horrible when they already do feel horrible and they're probably facing the biggest crisis of their life. So we just try to understand, what people are going through. Obviously, I've never been in that position, so I can't, put myself in their shoes, but I can imagine how difficult it could be. And then we just, at the end of the day, you have to realize that the dog is probably going to be better off in a new home with an owner that can, provide for them and maybe keep the owner updated with, with updates and photos and everything.
Speaking of which, I love that they keep participating.
Yeah.
How many dogs are presently with you in where you are? And then how many do you have out in fosters?
Well, right now in our house, we just had two adopted this morning, thankfully, but we have two more coming in about 10 minutes. So right now we have 24 dogs
Oh my God.
living in our house with us. And then we have another 12 in short-term foster homes. So those are dogs that are just waiting kind of for medical procedures before they can get posted for adoption, or they are already posted for adoption and we're just waiting for someone to apply. And then we have another 23 in forever foster homes. So those are dogs who are living with a family for the rest of their lives, but we're paying the medical expenses for that dog.
All right. So I recently saw your husband, I think, on the Today Show.
Yes, he was on the Today Show the week after, I think, the week after 4th of July, just talking about kind of pet safety tips for the heat, for the summertime.
Fantastic. Was that exciting for him?
It was, yeah. It was. I don't know if he's ever been on the Today Show. I know he's maybe done Good Morning America, but I was very excited. So I was super excited to go down there, and I hung out in the green room. But it was very exciting.
Now his name is Mark, but he has a twin named Fark. Can we get a Fark update and an explanation of what Fark is? What the Fark, absolutely. I like to say.
What the Fark? So just so you know, so Fark does have his own Instagram account. So he has, I believe it's FARC _ the VPR dummy. So the backstory on Fark, when I met my husband, he had a pug named Shorty, who he had for years. And Shorty was very, very attached to my husband. And when he would travel, Shorty would kind of be his companion. He would go with him. Unfortunately, Shorty got pretty old. He got too old to travel. So when Mark was traveling quite a bit, I mean, he was probably gone 2 weeks out of the month when we moved here to Rhode Island for his job. Shorty was just inconsolable. Nothing. I would hold him. My mom would hold him. We'd all be taking turns holding him. And he did not want us. He wanted Mark. So my mom actually ordered a life-size dummy, from Spirit. Yeah. She didn't tell me she was doing this until literally it arrived at the door. From Spirit Halloween. So obviously it's a dummy that people use to dress up as pirate or something for Halloween. And we put one of Mark's worn shirts on it, and a hat, and tattoo sleeves, because Mark has tattoos. And we sat Shorty down and wrapped the arms around him. And I mean, honestly, I thought it was just hilarious. I thought it would be a funny photo opportunity and just be a funny thing, but it actually worked. Shorty kind of nuzzled into the shirt and fell asleep. And then all the dogs were on Fark, and they were all covering him. And I mean, basically it's a person that never leaves the couch. So the dogs love it.
My favorite is the photos when Fark falls.
Yeah.
Or is in in some sort of disarray. And yet the dogs are sort of fine with it. They're like, oh, he's drunk.
Yeah, we have one pug puppy who will nibble on his little hands, and then when Fark falls over, they just look at him kind of like, "Well, what happened, dude?" So it's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I live in a house with a life-size dummy, but here I am, killing it.
Where can people find Vintage Pet Rescue online, and how can they support you?
So we are pretty active on social media. So our Instagram is at vintage _ pet _ rescue. Facebook, you can just search for us, Vintage Pet Rescue. Our website is vintagepetrescue.org. And right now, I mean, our biggest expense by far is veterinary care. So when we take in dogs that are paralyzed, need back surgery, need physical therapy, need mass removals. These surgeries are 5, 6, up to $10,000. So they are very expensive. And the dogs we're taking in a lot of times that need this surgery, they're young. Like, we had a 1-year-old Chihuahua that her back was broken, who was going to be euthanized. But instead, we took her in, and now she's running with her, with her new family, and just the happiest girl. So, those are the biggest expenses. And we are a 501c3. So we run 100% on donations from individuals. So you can donate on Facebook. You can donate on our website. Our address is on there if anyone wants to send a check, but any donation is very much appreciated to help us with our vet bills.
You can go back and listen to our original show. It happened, if you go to the episode guide wherever you follow this show, on January 27th, 2021. The world was a different place. The world is a better place. We're calling it the better normal, not the new normal, the better normal. And it's so great to talk with you again.
So great to talk to you too, Steve. I appreciate it.
Well, we will talk soon, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too.